evening, everyone, and welcome to this regular board meeting, October 16th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Estill County Board of Education Boardroom located at 253 Main Street in Irving, Kentucky. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Once again, welcome to everyone, and we always start our meeting saying the pledge. So if you don't mind to stand with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for that. There is a sign-in sheet at the entrance to the boardroom. I'd like to remind you, if you'd like to sign in, that that's located there. Mr. Brock, do we have any revisions to this agenda?
We do not.
Okay. Moving right along, first on our agenda, we have action items. First of all, we have consideration for approval of a couple of out-of-state trips. One is for the band to go to Bands of America, the Grand Nationals, November 12th through the 15th in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the second is a ECHS FCCLA Capital Leadership in Washington, D.C., November 15th through the 19th. Mr. Brock, would you like to address any of those?
Just the Bands of America is a great opportunity for our band to go compete. It's a wonderful event. I will get to go to it at some point. I hope I get to go this year. It's a great opportunity, and the leadership for our FCCLA, that's also a great opportunity for our kids to go to a conference. It's my recommendation we approve both.
Okay. With that discussion, I need a motion for approval of our out-of-state trips as discussed. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any discussion? We're voting on our out-of-state trips for nationals, for the band, and for FCCLA.
I approve both of them.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Pack their bags.
Yep, be a good trip for both of them.
Next, we have consideration for approval of shortened days for a student.
Yeah, it's just, you all have seen this before. Sometimes students require shortened school day as decided by a committee, and it has to be board approved. It is my recommendation that we approve the shortened school day.
And this is not for everyone.
No, it's for a specific student.
Yes. Okay, so I need a motion to approve that. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of the following MOA, MOU. Mr. Brock, would you like to discuss those?
I will. The New Horizons Academy is something that we have participated in for a couple years. Mr. Norton works with KEDC on this. It is another option for our students. It is separate from Estill County, but we also get the opportunity to provide that for students through KEDC. It's beneficial for both the student and for us. It's an agreement where we can send kids there, they can get extra support. It's my recommendation we approve that. The other one is for our visually impaired students. It's for services for them. We have an arrangement with, or agreement here with a former teacher who's taken another job, but they can still service our students with this agreement, and it's my recommendation we approve it as well, and we can approve those together.
Okay. I need a motion for approval of the following MOA, MOUs with New Horizons and with teacher for the visually impaired. Carrie Smallwood makes a motion. Tammy Harding makes a second. Do we have any discussion, any questions? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. We're moving right along.
We're doing good.
All right. Next, we have consideration for approval of the public record and duty under law.
And that's the package that you all have. You sign the top copy saying that you have received it. It's something that we have to do every year. It's my recommendation we approve.
I need a motion for approval of the public record and duty under law. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Tammy Hardy makes a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of the updated salary schedule, and I think they had that listed on their agenda.
We do. There was an error I found where we consolidated some positions this summer, and we're just making a correction of something where we took two positions and consolidated it into one. Yeah, and moved them actually down here. So
Okay, so this is just an update.
yes, it's a oversight that should have been done in July, and it's a correction.
Okay, so I need a motion for approval of the updated salary schedule. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. That moves us down to our consent items. Mr. Brock, would you like to discuss those?
It's just the normal, approving the minutes from September the 18th, the treasurer's report, so that we can continue to pay our bills on time, and superintendent's travel. I did go to a couple co-op meetings and just got back from a conference and went to Frankfurt on Wednesday. The conference was the one that the maintenance goes to every year and superintendents go as well. It was actually a really good conference. It's my recommendation we approve.
I need a motion to approve the consent items as discussed by Mr. Brock. Carrie Smallwood makes a motion. Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, that's you again, the
Okay.
superintendent report.
Superintendent report. As I said, I was in Frankfurt Wednesday. Had a meeting up there with Senator McDaniel and Senator Smith. Senator McDaniel is the chair of the A&R committee on the Senate side. It was in efforts to continue our project moving for our middle school. Answered some questions about the project, talked about the schedule as far as like what the draw schedule would be with money, discussed some options with him, and it was a very good meeting. It was a productive meeting. So now I have met with everybody that has anything to do with funding the project, and I will continue to meet with them and go back and make sure that we stay first and foremost in the front seat, if you will, as far as it goes. I am very optimistic, and it was a very good meeting. Obviously, they can't promise you anything because it's got to be a session, people have to vote, but I was thankful to be able to get in front of them, and it was a very good meeting. This past Monday, we had a TE day. Teachers came in and worked. They worked really, really hard on initiative we have this year to give us more data for our students for proficiency measures to help teachers make good decisions on not just a diagnostic here and there, but about every 5 to 6 weeks to really look at student mastery of standards. Made a lot of progress in writing those. I vetted a bunch of them. Principals vetted them. Coaches vetted them. And what we're looking at is we're looking at raising the rigor of the expectation for instruction. So we had them write them. We've looked through all the questions. A lot of the questions were at DOK, or depth of knowledge level 1, which would be like factual recall. Went back and reworked those because the realm we want to live in is 2, 3, and then some 4s, which is more of an application, which indicates mastery of standard. And so that was very good, and got some good data back from that, and we'll get some better data when we give that to the kids. Had Miss Mullins and Miss Cornett at the Victoria Fellows here this week, and that's got to do with supports for gifted and talented students. It's a good conference. I don't know if you want to speak any about that or not. I know that Ms. Cornett got invited to present at one of their conferences, which is a pretty big deal, but it's a place they can go and get some more ideas and kind of share what we're doing to support our students. So do you have anything?
I don't care to share just for 30 seconds just about it.
Yeah. Did you participate in that when you?
I think I went once.
Yeah, I was just curious because to my knowledge, last year and then this year is kind of the first. in a while, at least, that we've,
So WKU is known to be the hub of a lot of
Yep.
very current practices and strategies and knowledge with gifted education. We were honored to sit under Dr. Julia Roberts, who I know Ms. Samples knows her. You know, you just kind of soak in when she talks. But a lot of it was around House Bill 190, which is a lot of legislation that is specifically aimed at students who need advanced coursework or who are identified as gifted, whether that's academically, leadership, musically. So really, it was a kind of a session where we sat with superintendents and leaders from other districts and talked about what our current plans are, about how to move forward. But we not only gained a lot of information, but we made a lot of good contacts with other districts that we want to work with to make sure that we are continuing to provide opportunities that our students need.
yeah, and what we're looking for on that law is, last year, it basically said, or when it was written, that anybody, any student who is proficient or distinguished on the state assessment may be placed in an advanced course. I fully look for this year's law to say shall. I expect them to mandate it this year. So we've already been talking about plans on what that looks like. We've added those honor courses at the middle school. We've talked about behind closed doors, what it's going to look like at the elementary school
Yes.
level.
And to brag on Ms. Cornett and the work that she's done, she's very far ahead of the game when
Yes.
it comes to planning out a lot of what needs to go on for our students. That is why she has been asked to speak at the CAGE conference, which is for the gifted educators. But Ms. Cornett is very knowledgeable. She's made really quick work of what needs to go on. She's doing work ahead of what the bill required. So that speaks to our district, and a lot of people have recognized that.
Yeah, we always want to stay ahead of the curve instead of being behind it.
I always went to Western. Dr. Roberts always had a session during
Yeah.
the summer.
Western's where this was at.
That's
Yeah.
why I went to every time, all my 6 years and 10 years, I went there every year.
Yeah. As far as personnel and stuff goes, we've got a couple custodian positions we're still trying to fill, so if anybody wants a job as a custodian, just get on our website and apply. Looking at ADA right now, we're sitting at about 1856, and our total enrollment right now is 2,048. That does not include our virtual students. It'll be a little bit higher with our ADA and with including our virtual students in that number. And that's all I have. We have principal's report.
So that's on our agenda. Next is the principal's report. Who has the mic? Miss Mays, do you want to go first since it's right there? Miss Mays from Estill Springs.
Thank you all for the opportunity to come and talk to you all tonight about all the great things that are happening at Estill Springs. You all have in front of you a few pictures of October highlights. We're just halfway through this month, but we have had a lot of exciting things happening. The top two pictures there in the left corner from our Bluegrass Family Learning Night, that was led with our music teacher, Miss Lydia Smith, along with some of our charge grant people, helped to gather some things, artifacts for students to look at. We involved Miss Carly Cornett and Miss Jessica Mullins. They came and brought quilts for a quilt gallery. We had some local musicians come, and our cafeteria ladies served some wonderful chicken noodle soup and grilled cheese. Our students learned 2 bluegrass songs that they performed, and 1 song they performed using the dulcimer. So that was a really big night for them. We've hosted our first family lunch. That was for 5th grade. That's really special for all of our families, but those 5th graders, especially before they head off to middle school, get some time to have their families in the building and at school with them before they don't want them around anymore. So we had a great turnout for that. One of the big things that we have celebrated the past couple years at Estill Springs are positive office referrals. As you can see that top middle picture there are several students. They earn those positive office referrals for going above and beyond with our school-wide expectations on track. So their teachers send those down, they automatically generate a certificate, and then we choose a time for them to come down, and we recognize them for for their hard work. So we are super proud of all those students that are earning the positive office referrals. If you look straight down the middle, Jeremy, for celebrating mastery, we not only celebrate their good behavior, but we also celebrate their academic progress in the classroom. And those are students that had some weekly assessments, and they are constantly tracking what standards they have taught that week, what they've learned, and what they need to work on. So as you can see from those faces, they were super proud of that mastery, and they get to take that home and share with their families. The top right picture is Miss Amy. She is leading a kindergarten reading mastery group in that picture, and those sweet babies were giving thumbs up because they had learned to read their first word. That's a big deal in kindergarten. It's a big deal with reading mastery, and I happened to pop in that day and see them learning to read their first word, and they were very excited. The last two pictures there, the bottom right, that includes what is called a room transformation. If you're not familiar with what that is, the teachers the night before will transform their classrooms related to something that they have been working on, and that was the Tuesday before we left for fall break. So third grade students had finished up a place value unit, and their teachers planned a place value party. It included party hats, tablecloths, snacks, and tons of activities that went along with place value and showing how they have mastered that content. And they all got to work together and enjoy before we left for fall break. So that's just a little bit of what's been going on at Estill Springs. We have a lot of events planned for the fall, and we hope that you all will come and see us anytime.
Thank you very much. You want to go next from West Irvin, Miss Miller?
Okay. So fall is probably my favorite season at West because we are really getting into the swing of school, and so we're starting to see that growth in our students, and it's something that's really exciting. We've been really proud of our students over the last few weeks and the growth that they're already making. We have had a lot of fun just with fall starting. So the day before our fall break, our second graders really dug into pumpkins. They did a lot of work with pumpkin stories and pumpkin science and things of that nature. They had a lot of hands-on learning that day. Our third, fourth, and fifth grade students have kicked off some novel studies in several of their classrooms. Our art club has officially begun, so our students love to stay after for art club. We have a K through 2 and a 3 through 5 art club, and they really love it. 4-H has started in both 4th and 5th grade, which is another fun thing that our students really enjoy, and it brings a little extra to our students in enrichment. We also had our first room transformation over the last few weeks. Our 5th grade students, they had their classroom turned into a crime scene, and they became detectives looking for inferences within the text. So that was a really fun day for them. 4th grade has really been digging into learning about collisions and forces of motion. They've done a lot of hands-on things, including learning how to play old school marbles and then using that to discuss forces of motion. So that's been a fun thing for them. We did celebrate Johnny Appleseed Day at the very end of September. It wasn't in October, but I did have to mention it because that's always one of the best days for our students. But overall, we've been really excited about their growth. We've been celebrating their goals big time, and we are just continuing to laugh, learn, and make memories at West.
Thank you, Miss Miller. Next, we have our middle school.
I didn't know I needed to ask you that. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So I'm here representing the middle school tonight. Miss Halcom is out of town. So we have several things that are on here. You can see that our October dates, we have a lot of great things going on, including we have Bully Prevention Week. We also have Red Ribbon Week coming up. We have the end of the 9 weeks where we're gonna have, a parent-teacher conference, and our students are gonna be able to lead some of the conversations going on there. Instructional-wise, we have Miss Ford coming in, and she has worked with some of our students. We looked at some of their iReady scores and found some students that need some extra help with reading. And they are so excited. She was talking to us today. She was there today, and she said they're so excited when they see me in the hallway because we have kids that are wanting to make sure that they know how to read, and that's really exciting. We have worked on coaching, and we are upping our Tier 1 instruction. When we had our TE Day on Monday, our teachers worked really hard on those proficiency measures. I really want to brag on our middle school teachers because they worked very, very hard. And they are willing to pretty much do anything, and you can tell that they are willing to do anything, and it's really rewarding as a principal to see that and have those type of teachers in your school. But they worked very hard on those proficiency measures, and now they're realizing how much their Tier 1 instruction needs to be able to match those. So they're excited too. They're asking lots of questions. They're eager to learn and grow in the classroom. And then Mr. Dixon actually got some new Paxton labs for his classroom, and so he has gone through training for those. And if you ever get a chance to come in, you all are welcome anytime to go in there. They're doing barber kits where they're cutting hair and shaving. They're doing flying drones. So there's all kinds of stuff in there. It's really cool.
We're still gonna do like a public release on that whenever all that gets completed, where people can come and see,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be, like I said, we just got those right before fall break, like
Yeah.
a couple weeks before, if that. So they were there kind of bringing in the rest of those labs. So it's pretty cool to see all that. There's some pictures of all of our Tier 1 instruction that are going on. Our kids are really working hard. Some counseling things that are happening. Miss Cottle has started doing small groups that are specific to our kids' needs to try to form those relationships with our kids, and that's great. She's also pushing in with our SEL lessons, and she's trying to make a point monthly to get in to see every kid through the classroom. We have Miss Abbott coming in. We also have lots of students that are with our outside counselors as well. So we are trying to meet the needs of those students socially and social-emotional needs. In our MTSS meetings that we're having, we do those grade level, and our teachers focus on all those different components so that we're looking at the kids individually instead of looking at just their data from their classroom. They're looking at all components, and those teachers are having those conversations, and they're pretty excited about that. Over to the side, you can see there's some pictures of some of our student recognition. We have Sophia Ballard and William Kelly who presented flags and competed in the Raider competition. Our ROTC class, which is composed of our 8th graders, they go down first period every morning, and they are loving it. And seeing them in their uniforms on Wednesdays is great, and how well they're responding to it. It's really awesome to see those kids responding so well. And then we had some football all-conference team members for our 8th grade team, or our 7th and 8th grade team. We had Evan Beckler, Landon Flynn, and Elliott Rader. And then for our 5th and 6th grade team, we had Carter Barnett, Landon Davidson, and Jace Isaacs. And our football team also, the 5th and 6th grade, won their conference regular season. And so that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
I have to throw a little extra brag in there, so.
That's what mamas do. Next, we have Ms. Hall from South Urban.
Our paper is black and blue. So we had Ms. Jane there. She is one of our paraeducators. She finished her CEA, and that's a requirement for any paraeducator that works with Head Start students. It's called a Child Development Associate. So when they finish that, it is a lengthy process for them. So we celebrate them. We celebrated her. Then going across, you see some pictures of our kids. We daily have a social emotional lesson for each classroom. Then we do have literacy going on. You'll see that in that middle picture. We're in our pet unit right now. We just began that the week of fall break. But the classrooms get changed into every learning area has something to do with pets in it. So that classroom changed theirs into the Waco Animal Clinic. And then at the bottom, you'll see the bookmobile. We partner with the library. Miss Sherry brings the bookmobile over every 2 weeks, and the kids check out the books. We keep them at school, but they're in a basket, and they can come look at them, but we just don't send those books home yet. That middle picture is numeracy. We do work on that in preschool. And then the last picture, I have learning targets under it. We do have standards that we teach and assess, and one of their standards in the last unit was learning to use their senses. So that's a lesson where they're using their senses. And then at the bottom, you'll see some upcoming events. October and November are busy for us. So we have a petting zoo. This year we've decided to do that during the school day. We have a nice fenced-in area now where we can take the kids out front, and they're still fenced in. So we're going to do the petting zoo during the school day so that all the kids have access to that instead of at night. We will have a Touch a Truck family night. That's next week. We have the dental bus coming for the first time. The kids think that's a big deal. We'll have a pumpkin patch, trunk or treat at school, and then we combine our parent-teacher conferences with family nights, and will be our Thanksgiving family meal with parent-teacher conferences. And that is free for families. It doesn't cost anything for their meal. And that's because we partner with Head Start. They help with that. And then we do unit assessment. So I just included a couple of those learning targets that we tracked in our last unit, and it was, I can count things that I touch. That's our 4-year-old data. 82.5% of our kids can do that, and 100% can match colors. So that means they don't have to say what the color is, but they have to sort the colors into the right color basket. And then we don't have our ESGI and readiness yet. That will be in October 31st. You can see our enrollment, but also yesterday, we only had 2 kids out in the whole school, so that was 98%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
It's awesome for movements, especially this time of year. Next, we have Mr. Rogers from the high school.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Rogers caught on this time.
I got color. I got color. All right, we're getting better. Today I learned that I need to include Mr. Simpson on that email so we make sure we have him up on the big screen. We'll get a little better each time. One of my students said it better than I can say it this past week. He had been out with the group on a trip, and they had stopped at Buc-ee's, and they came back, and he said, Mr. Rogers, our school is like Buc-ee's. He's like, there's always something going on. And I kind of feel that way this time of year. We do have a lot going on, and there are a lot of things that I want to touch on you that I already sent you on the report, but as I was sitting here thinking, and then just things that have happened since we submitted this, I want to share some things with you too. We were very fortunate. WYMT offers a $1,000 scholarship to students. We were allowed to submit 5, and all 5 of our submissions received that scholarship this year. We were really proud of that fact. I don't know that that has happened before, that everyone we've submitted has gained that award. So that time where students are starting to think about their next steps, and those financial rewards really help them. Looking at some data, but before we've even started our spring testing, we had 127 students that have already met academic readiness out of 178 of our seniors, 112 that have met career readiness, and 68 that are both academic and career ready. We feel like that's a great place to be at this time of the year. 21 of our seniors who have yet to meet the college readiness benchmarks through the ACT have met them through our Coyote program. So again, that's a number we feel like at this time of year is already ahead of pace and at a good place. We do a lot of things with the other schools in our district, and work that goes on between the high school and the next door at the ATC. I was really impressed as we started looking at some of these numbers, but of that senior class, we have 26 students that have already earned an industry certification in health sciences, 16 in industrial maintenance, 9 in engineering, 6 in diesel mechanics, and 3 in information technology. So I'm really proud of the fact that we're doing a good job, I believe, of preparing those students that are headed to college for the next step, but also preparing those students that have other plans after high school. So, and we try and spend a lot of time over at the ATC with those kids and let them know that we support them as well. not on our sheet here, but I also wanted to brag on our teachers on the TE Day on Monday. It was really neat for me to see the collaboration with the middle school teachers. So they came over and worked together with our teachers, had the opportunity to sit in on a lot of those conversations, and I think that really helped in a lot of areas. So was really proud of that, and we've already seen a noticeable difference in our academic walkthroughs this week in terms of levels of questioning and things that are going on. So second page, I've listed for you there some of the things that are going on in Mr. Collier's MSD room. Just a fun place to be. He's doing a great job with that group, and I won't read through all those, but I'll let you have the opportunity to see them. But they started a monthly family meal that was a huge hit in September, where the students have the opportunity to kind of be together around something about eating with people, and that gives you the opportunity to get to know them better. So those are some things that are going on there. 3 of our students in that environment earned a role in our upcoming school play, Game of Tiaras. That was a really fun, interesting thing as well. We have a lot going on in terms of school pride and culture. Fall sports winding down. Football's having a great year. An odd year where we played so many games at home at the start of the season, now so many on the road, and they're battling back through some injuries, but excited about what possibilities might exist in the postseason for them. Really want to brag on our girls soccer team, regional champions for the 7th consecutive year, I believe. So, and I think they were a little surprised. I think they were a little banged up going into the regional tournament, and but really stepped up and dominated, and really proud of them. We're going to have the opportunity to host the first round of the Sweet 16 Girls State Soccer Tournament. Waiting to see who our opponent is going to be. Also, a very real possibility that we will host the first round of the boys Sweet 16 State Soccer Tournament. If our neighbors to the north are successful tonight, we will host for Powell County if they're able to win. That'll be Monday and Tuesday nights of next week. Discipline referrals, we were looking at some data. They're down about 64% over the same period of 6 weeks that they were last year. And I really attribute that to the work that's being done by our counselors and our SROs and our teachers in the classroom. We've had a real focus on what we call preventative and restorative discipline, trying to get ahead of some things before they become discipline issues. The cell phone policy really forced our hand this year to do that. We had to be creative and think of some ways to get ahead of some discipline, and we're seeing it pay off in other areas. A lot of one-on-one conversations with kiddos and a lot of group conversations with kiddos, but really starting to see a difference, and the kids are taking accountability for their behavior at school. Our marching band, I'm always blown away at the level of success that they have. And I think for me, us having the opportunity to host a competition and see what other schools bring in terms of marching bands compared to what ours is, and we are clearly superior than most of the schools around us, and that's exciting. Those accolades are listed there as well. A couple of things that I didn't have a chance to put on there. Great things going on in our business and marketing program. They're starting some student enterprises. Don't have one with me, but they made me my first keychain that they're going to start to sell. Those are really neat. And looking at doing some things, you can expect a fashion show coming up sometime soon this year. Really excited about what's going on there. Just left our Family Resource Center. They were making salsa tonight. Again, we're the Buc-ee's of the school district. We do some fun things. We wrapped up our first attendance challenge today. It was very close between all of our class. Our freshmen ended up winning at about 93%. We're going to continue to have those over the course of the semester. Kind of resonated with students. Last page there with the color. I'll brag on Miss Flynn in our JAG program. I had the opportunity to be exposed to JAG for the very first time last year, and really believe in the principles of JAG, and particularly for our student population. Our new JAG teacher, Miss Flynn, is taking it to a whole nother level. She's doing a tremendous job. starting to grow that program and the club component of it as well. And then I also just kind of wanted to share one fun thing. We're trying to trick our kids into learning sometimes, but each day we have a different theme. Today was National Dictionary Day in honor of Merriam-Webster, his birthday. So we challenged our kids to stump Mr. Barnett, our senior English teacher. And I promised every kid that could come up with a word that Mr. Barnett did not know the meaning of, that I would get them an L8 and a candy bar tomorrow. So I'm going to leave here and go buy 28 L8s and 28 candy bars. So, but in speaking to Mr. Barnett at the end of the day, generated a lot of interest in vocabulary, and he said he had probably close to 1,000 new words thrown at him today. He had kids stopping by all day long. So we're trying to do some fun things like that as well, just to set our culture and have an environment where kids are enjoying being at school. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Mr. Reese, do you have an update for us on anything?
Not right now too much.
He just keeps things rolling.
They're just, maintenance is working. To give you an idea of what kind of maintenance guys you've got, they've been to a conference, they get home at 4, and they go out and work for 2 or 3 hours. And they do that on their own. Nobody tells them to do that. That's what kind of guys you've got. They do the very best that they can do, and I've been doing a few walkthroughs. Schools look good on safety. They look pretty good on cleaning. Of course, I go in the middle of the day after lunch, so, you know, there's going to be a few little areas that won't look quite like that. But as far as we're doing pretty good, we're getting a little low on maintenance vehicles. So
We're working on it.
we're going to have to do something, because right now we got one broke down. But anyway, hey, them guys do good. If you see them, just tell them you appreciate them and thank them for the job. And that goes farther than anything else with it.
Yep.
But we just had a great conference, and I take the guys there, and they go through and they can go to classes and go to sessions, and they can learn things and how to do things better. And it's similar to like repairing roofs, the best roof repairs, security, a lot of HVAC, electrical, plumbing. I mean, it's just, they really enjoy that. And I look forward to taking them every year, and they deserve to be able to do that, so.
Absolutely.
What's our number? What's the staff? How many do we have in maintenance?
We have 3. That's all we have.
Does that include you?
No,
So,
that doesn't.
3
Now, we've
plus
got
you.
2. You've got 2 that do athletic and maintenance around just the athletic part.
We got 5 total.
But you got 5 total, but you've got 3 that do all
All
the
the schools.
major repair work,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
We had a half of one, but he got hurt, so we're waiting on him to get back to be another half, so.
Yeah,
And,
we're gonna hire another one in December.
Yes, we're gonna have one retire in December. Philip Smith, I guess it's already known, but Philip Smith's gonna retire December 31st. So we'll have to replace him.
That's a lot of work for 3 people.
And they do it. They do it.
Yep.
And, I mean, I'll just say it. They work overtime, and they never write it down. I can't get them to write it down. I can't not make them write it down.
Yeah, I've told them to.
And I've told them and told them. I told them I'm gonna start keeping track of it and write it down myself on there.
Yep.
But that's what kind of guys you've got. They're selfless, and they really work. Hey,
Great
I
crew.
told you a long time ago, you get people that know what they're doing, stay out of their way, and they'll make you look good.
Yeah, they're
They
great.
don't make them like that anymore, do they?
Old school, Donna, old
Yep.
school.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Reese. We appreciate the job y'all are doing. Do you have something for us, Ms. Owens?
Well, I just wanted to brag on all the schools. They are implementing PBIS. We're going back to some basics this year and getting retrained or refreshed on some things. We have another training this coming Tuesday for our teams.
And we're really looking at our Tier 1 behavior supports that go for all students, but then also beefing up our Tier 2 supports. We do have a lot of behavioral and mental health needs at the schools, but the schools are all working really hard on that. We have a lot of new special education staff this year, but I am so excited they are working so hard. I had a meeting with one of our new teachers today, and I bragged to Mr. Rogers, but just the effort that was put into the paperwork, and if you know special ed, you know there's a lot of paperwork, and Jennifer Williams is doing an excellent job coaching staff on paperwork and instruction, and then we're coming alongside these new staff and coaching them with it, and just seeing a lot of good things from new and veteran staff this year, so we're excited.
Thank you, Ms. Owens. Mr. Yost?
I didn't expect to talk tonight, but that's fun. I want to commend a group of people that I don't know we ever talk about at board meetings, but the bookkeepers at the schools have done a tremendous job this year, taking the new stuff that we've thrown at them with the electronic requisitions, and have really taken to that and have worked well with myself and their principals to really get that process going efficiently. The principal's done a great job working with that as well, but those ladies in those schools, they do a ton of great work, and I don't know that publicly they ever get the credit because they do all the work behind the scenes, but I want to commend all of them for a job well done and the great things they're doing with financing their schools this year. So, you know, Buffy and Amber upstairs doing a great job with payroll and accounts payable, and the ladies in the schools. It's been fun for me, having been in the high school the last 6 years, to get to know people across the district in a different way.
Yeah.
Because for me, being at the high school, you're so ingrained in what you're doing there 24/7. And now getting to go out to the schools and meet with people in different buildings and getting to know people in a different way across the district has really just been a fun experience this year. And completely unrelated to my day job, I want to give a big shout out again to Ethan Moore and WSKV, letting us have the opportunity to cover our school sports. And it's always fun for me to get to call games, and doing the girls' final again last night for their 7th straight title was a lot of fun, and it's wonderful to have a partner like WSKV who allows us to showcase our students throughout the entire school year. So I wanted to make sure to give him a shout out as well.
Absolutely. Mr. Simpson, everyone in the room has talked except you. Do you have anything to say?
Technology's rolling right along. We've got a lot of initiatives that are required by the state at the end of this month. That's going to require a lot of changes, not by our choice, but as due to expiring contracts with the state. We're doing away with the main server that controls accounts for logging into Windows, but then they're rolling out a brand new system that's going to change how everybody logs into Google and your email and all that, called Rapid Identity. We have to completely replace all of the antivirus software within the district. We have to pay for that now at the end of this school year. We have to do away with a current provisioning system, possibly. There's just a lot going on. Everything culminated at once. And so we're trying to stay on top of it. So we did replace all of the complete network infrastructure throughout the district. That has gone well. We made some changes there. Next week, we're working on the interactive panels that we have installed in every classroom. We're improving the process for the teachers to be able to stream to those. When we have vendors or guests come in the network, how do they connect to our network so they can get internet access but not interfere with the inner workings of the district? We've got that lined out. So a lot of different things that we're doing to improve the network capabilities of the district. The only big issue I have is people not remembering their passwords.
Guilty.
So other than that, tech's going great.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson. So I think that wraps up a lot of these reports from all of our districts. So it's a great time to be an engineer, Mr. Brock.
It's always a great day to be an engineer.
Do we have anything with our board member forum? Anyone have anything to share? Any comments to make? All right, Mr. Simpson, do we have any public comments? Okay, at this time then, I'd like to adjourn this meeting. I need a motion and a second. Sheila Samples makes a motion, Tammy Hardy makes a second. All in favor of adjournment,